Good afternoon, everyone. This is again your CBP Science teacher, Ms. Rahima S. Macno. Now, today we will be discussing about the Chapter 1 of our CBP Science Manual, which is about the nature of science. Now, in our previous our first virtual class, I've given you questions that you're going to answer it based on reflecting it, or rather reflecting it or doing a hashtag throwback to your previous learnings about science in your junior high school and senior high school science classes. So some of the questions that I've asked you is that you're going to describe terms such as science, physics, biology, chemistry, and earth science. And also, I've asked you to give or cite examples of contributions of science in your daily lives, and also give sample topics that you can remember in relation to the terms that I've asked you to describe. Now, the question is, what is really science? So in your, some of you mentioned or cite examples of contributions of science in your daily lives is that it is important in the field of medicine, or it contributed a lot in the field of medicine, in terms of medicine, the food that we eat, transportation, electricity, the environment, technology. And to sum it up, science contributed a lot in your daily lives because it improves, or it has improved human life. Now, so those are the some of the contributions of science. Now, what is really science? Accordingly, science comes from the Latin word scientia, which means to know. So basically, from the meaning of its Latin word scientia, to know, so through science, we are able to learn or to know things that surrounds us. And science also is a systematic attempt to establish knowledge that helps explain occurrences through objective means. So meaning, science is a systematic attempt. So pag mingon tag systematic, meaning it is step by step, or it follows an order. So diri na nato ma-reflect or ma-inject nato ang what we called as scientific method. So I think all of you are familiar already with scientific method, right? So scientific method is a method or a step-by-step method used by scientists in doing science works. So kaning scientific method, naagid siya order kung unsa imong first buhaton and then up to the last step. So these steps includes identifying the problem, tama, right? So before you can do something or to conclude or discover, or because of your curiosity, you have to ask or define problem, tama? So for example, we have, can plants survive without sunlight? So that is your, for example, questions. Next, in that relation, you have to do observation. So, or gather data about the plants. And then next you have to make your hypothesis. So hypothesis has two part. We have the alternative hypothesis, the positive one, and then we have the null hypothesis, or the negative one. And then next, after you have your hypothesis, or your hypothesis is an educated guess, or a tentative answers to your problem. Next, you have to do the experimentation or you have to test your hypothesis. Which of the two hypotheses ang sakto ba gyud, imuhang alternative nga hypothesis or imuhang null nga hypothesis. Next, pag na test na nimo, you have to analyze the data. So ang mga scientists dili sila basta-basta nga moingon diretso kung wala pa nila i-analyze pa gyud na nila. Next, after ma-analyze na nila, they will come up with a result or a conclusion. So dira na sila makaingon nga plants cannot survive sunlight because blah 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 blah. Okay, so that is a systematic attempt. So meaning step by step siya. And kaning ilahang koan, establishing knowledge nila or unsa ilahang na found out is that through objective means siya. So meaning, based on facts. So dili sila basta-basta nga makaingon or makakonclude without doing or applying mga skills or kanang scientific method or step by step. So since nag-mention tag skills, science employs skills such as measuring, analyzing, observing, and experimenting. Next, science is a continuous search for knowledge, a way of learning how things work. So science is a continuous search for knowledge. Dili siya constant, meaning kung unsa to ang nahibal-an karon about this a certain phenomena or kung related sa science doesn't mean nga mao na gid na siya. Pwede na siya ma-change, right? For example, in the advancement of technology, pinaka good example nato is in terms of cellular phones. Sa una, we have those types of cellular phones nga dili pa high-tech that you can communicate through just texting and calling. But as time goes by, nagka-improve siya. So meaning, you can talk or communicate with your friends, family, by face-to-face. Makita gyud nimo ang itsura or unsay gibuhat sa imuhang kastorya. Right? So meaning continuous. So basin di ay in the next kuan pa gyud generation or future mas ma-advance pa gyud na siya. Okay, so it is also a way of learning how things work. Because again, science comes from the Latin word scientia, to know. So through science, you're able to know things. Okay, so that is science. Now, science is classified into three. So we have classification of science. So we have pure science, we have applied science, and we have technology. So let's start with pure science. So pure science is the gathering of new information or the discovery of a new relationship or fact. So kani siya from the word pure science. So pure research or its purpose is that for the pursuit of knowledge or for the sake of knowledge. So para lang makakuha og knowledge or information. So this pure science is wala siya application. So meaning just to get the knowledge or just to learn the concepts or informations. Okay, so example ani is we have the fields of physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. So those are example of pure science. So kaning pure science pod, it is often conducted from laboratories. So purpose niya is for innovation, new discoveries, and then we have inventions. Next, after the pure science, another classification of science is we have the applied science. So from the word itself or term itself, applied. So kanina siya, naana kay nakakuha na kag information or knowledge or learnings about certain things, tapos you are able to apply it. Or it is the practical use of scientific information. So meaning, katong imuhang na-learn or na-gather nga knowledge or information, imo hatong i-apply. Okay, so examples are in the field of engineering and medicines. So in the field of engineering, for example, a person studied engineering for years, for example, for 5 years. So through that 5 years, kuha siya og learnings niya or information or knowledge about engineering. After that, pag makuan, makapasar na siya og kuan exam, iyahan nang i-apply, right? For example, we know engineers, kung kinsa ba ninyo sa inyo ha gusto mahimong engineers. Ang mga engineer, unsa man ilahang trabaho, what do they do? So, for example, they construct buildings, uh, road, we have bridges, and others. Another example also is in the field of medicine. For example, ang mga doctors. Kana sila, they nag-study sila. So they get those information or knowledge about medicine. After that, pag mahuman nila, na silang doctor, ilahang i-apply. Right? For example, in the hospitals or in discovering new medicines, how to cure diseases, how to cure kanang mga sakit sa pasyente, and others. So that is what we called applied science. So dili lang siya para makakuha og knowledge. So nakakuha knowledge plus naapagid siya application. Okay, so that is applied science. Next, the third one is what we called as technology. So the word technology is very kibali makonect gid na siya sa science. So natay term nga science and technology. So this technology refers to the craft, tool, material, instrument, apparatus, method, or technique produced after applying the scientific knowledge. So kani siya tong mga tools or instruments nga ato ang or for example na produce or outputs after getting the knowledge, applying it, so naay na-produce nga mga apparatus or instruments. So ang tawag ato is technology. So for example, in terms of sa medicine. So sa medicine, for example, nakakuha sila og learnings or knowledge. They applied it, tama? Okay, in their field. After they applied it, they may come up or invent or discover instrument or tools para mas mapadali ilahang trabaho or application of their work. So that is already technology. So again, these three are what we called as the classification of science. So we have pure science, purely knowledge or for the sake of knowledge. Applied science, there is in knowledge or learnings, and there is what we call practical use or application of the learnings. Next, after we have technology, after they have applied the learnings nila, they are able to produce tools or materials na pwede magamit. Next, aside from the classification of science, science also has two main branches. So, kibali kung science is the foundation, divided siya into duha. So, naatay gitawag og natural science, and then the other one is what we called social science. So let's start with the first branch of science. We have the natural science. So natural science seeks to understand the natural world and its different processes. So natural world. So pag mingon tag natural world, it refers to our environment. So natural science includes physical science, life science, and then we have the earth science. Physical science now is divided into two. So natay physics and then chemistry. For life science or biology, as we commonly know it, naa siya iyahang main branches po niya is we have botany o zoology. Next, for the earth science, it includes geology and then we have meteorology. So, okay, isa-isa ho na to og kaan. Start to with the physical science. So, physical science again includes physics of chemistry. So, in physics, accordingly, it is the science of matter and its motion, the science that deals with concepts such as force, energy, mass, and charge. So siguro from your answers, because I've asked you, remember, in our first virtual class, to describe physics or to give topics related to physics. So, some of you siguro may answers, may nag-answer og force, energy, mass, charge, or electricity, mga waves, mga speed, acceleration, sound, light, so, or the physical world. Okay, so it is an experimental science. Its goal is to understand the natural world. So, mo na yung focus of physics. Next, we have chemistry. So, chemistry is a branch of science that involves the study of composition, structure, and properties of matter. Now, kinigid si matter. Matter, dili gid ni siya malimtan sa mga estudyante, right? Memorize gid ni siya. So, when you talk about matter, it is defined as anything that occupies space and has a mass, right? Now, in chemistry, iyahang focus is about unsay composition ni unsay nag-compose sa matter, unsay structure sa matter, unsay property sa matter, unsay mga changes sa matter, states of matter. So, dira na mosulod ang mga topic, for example, on solid, liquid, gas, plasma, heterogeneous, homogeneous mixtures, substance. We have the periodic table of elements. So, kana. And then, chemistry is often known as the central science. It is a creative discipline chiefly concerned with atomic and molecular structure and its change, for instance, through chemical reactions. So, something that involves chemical reactions. Okay, focus in this chemistry. Now, let's proceed with life science. So life science again is also known as biology, as you describe that or define biology as the study of life or living things. Because bio means life, and then we have logy means discourse or study of. So accordingly, biology again is the natural science that studies life and living organisms. So pag mingon ta og living organisms, it includes us and other animals. And also we have the plants and microorganisms. Take note, again, it involves plants, animals, o microorganisms. Ma'am, asa man taapil man ang human. Take note, humans or kita are animals. Sometimes students dili gid sila mo accept og kuan tawgon og animal, right? So we are animals. We are the highest form of animals. We belong to the kingdom Animalia. So part ta aning biology. So specifically, ang focus sa biology is describing the physical structure of organisms, chemical processes, molecular interactions, physiological mechanisms, development, and evolution, or tanan mga processes or biological processes that occurs in a living organism. So despite the complexity of the science, certain unifying concepts consolidated into a single coherent field, biology. Now, si biology, na siya'y main branches. So we have botany and we have zoology. So when we talk about botany, it focuses or study about plants. On the other hand, pag mingon tag zoology, it focuses about the animals. But take note, there are other branches of biology. So some examples or branches are physiology, cytology, histology, and all. But take note, dili tanan logy ha. Sige. O, next. The third one is we have the earth science. Ma'am, siguro pag-describe ninyo sa answer ninyo, it talks about earth, ma'am. So from the word itself, earth science. So earth sciences are the fields of study concerned with the solid earth, our planet, its waters or yahang hydrospheres, and the air that envelopes it or the atmosphere. They include the geologic, hydrologic, and atmospheric sciences with the broad aim of understanding Earth's present features and past evolution and using this knowledge to benefit humankind. So aside from the hydrosphere, atmospheres, we also have the lithospheres and we have biosphere, or these are what they call the subsystems of the Earth, right? In your Earth and Life Science in senior high school. And also, some topics includes layers of the earth, ma'am, crust, mantle, core. We have mga rocks, minerals, ma'am, endogenic and exogenic processes and all. Now, in earth science, include or belong deha ang geology. So when you talk about geology, it is the study of the earth, the materials of which it is made, the structure of those materials, and the processes acting upon them. It includes the study of organisms that have inhabited our planet. Aside from geology, focus pod siya og other field nga belong pod sa earth sciences, we have meteorology. So meteorology is the scientific study of the atmosphere that focuses on weather processes in forecasting. So mo na ang sa earth science. So again, first main branch or first main branches of science is we have again the natural science. Wherein naadeha ang physical science, life science, or we have the earth science. Now, what about the next or the second main branch of science? So we have the social science. So social science focuses primarily on the study of people, culture, and society. If ang natural science focuses on the natural world or the environment or the physical world that surround us, kining social science focuses on or it deals on the people, the culture, language, behavior, or in general, the society. So, sa social science, examples na belong diha is we have ec- economics, so the study of the economy. And then we have education, we have geography, sociology, law, and then we have psychology. So mainly, iyahang focus is the um, the people. How do people behave, communicate, socialize, their interactions with people. Kana. So that is the focus of social science. Now, so these two main branches of science, ang ato ang focus in our subject is we have the first main branch of science, which is the natural science. So as I've mentioned in our first virtual class, that our subject includes or involves physics, chemistry, life science or biology, and then we have earth science. So, mao na ang focus nato for this CBP science nato nga klase. So, physics and chemistry, which is also known as physical science. We have biology or life science, and we have the earth science. So, I think that concludes our my discussion for the chapter 1. So, this is just the introduction part or the nature of science. I hope it is clearly discussed. So if you have questions and clarification, you can um, contact or PM or message me if may mga further clarifications. You also have your soft copy first of your manual or your CBP Science manual. Okay, so thank you and then God bless.